We hear all the time how important it is to track ratios and KPIs. But if you're like most people I talk to in my coaching groups, it's like, well, which one should I be tracking? There's so many different ones to track. And which ones are most important and which ones aren't? Well, in my coaching group, we worked through this as an exercise over the course of probably a month as we dug into what these different ratios mean. And then each of my coaching members were able to choose a couple ratios that they were going to track for the next few months. So I would say pick 2 or 3. Don't try to pick 15 because that's too many. I'd rather you start slow and build your way up. Now we have things like financial ratios, where we might be comparing our revenue of this period maybe to last period. We might be comparing our cost of goods sold number from this period to another period, because we're always trying to increase your gross profit margin. So those are some of the financial ratios. So comparing revenue, cost of sales, gross profit, net profit, those types of things are great financial ratios to track. Pick one maybe in this area, or pick 2 in this area, and let's track them for the next 90 days. There's also KPIs in the sales area. Might be something around the number of sales, or maybe something around the average ticket price, number of new customers or repeat customers, the number of times we were able to offer an upsell, or might be a sales closing percentage. These are all great numbers to track. But here again, only pick maybe one. Start out setting yourself up for success and not for failure. Many of you are using software like Service Titan or Sarah or some of those, House Call Pro, any of those. A lot of those softwares will give you these numbers. Document them. Write them down somewhere. Maybe you need to start a little spreadsheet or a Word doc and start dropping these numbers in so that you can see, are you gaining in ground as you're working through these KPIs. We might even be looking more in the production area. What's our callback rate? Are we increasing or decreasing our callback rate? Hopefully you're decreasing and not increasing it because they're costly. Maybe in something along the lines of an hourly production rate or the number of customer reviews. Some of those types of things in the production area are great to track. But here again, don't get hung up on trying to do too many all at once. Let's look in the marketing area. We might be looking at things like the return on ad spend or your customer acquisition cost. We might be looking at the cost per lead or customer lifetime value. So there's any number of things that we could be looking at and tracking. We might be looking at average call length when you get calls coming into your office. Don't want them too short, but we really don't want them too long either. We want to keep them in a particular range. We might be looking at breakage that may have happened in a customer's home. That might be one that we want to look into if that's a problem in your business, or employee turnover, some of those types of things. So there's a lot of different KPIs and ratios that you can track in a home service business. Pick 2 or 3 and spend 90 days working on those. And I guarantee whichever 2 or 3 you pick, if you are intentional about watching these over 90 days, those numbers will start to improve, because we know that whatever we are tracking and paying attention to will improve. That's just how it works in business.